Hey guys, so I'm driving the latest FSD 14 version, and today, um, for the first time in a while, I'm starting the drive recorded from the parking lot. Now, here's the thing: I've always noticed this. It always wants me to go out this way, but there is no exit there. So one of those things that I've talked about in previous videos, um, marking, mapping parkade or parkade mapping, whatever you want to call it. Um, And I've seen a video where this Chinese brand cars, they did it. So whether that was programmed or not, my point is it is possible, but Tesla is not there yet. So it would be nice, for you to be able to, if the car becomes sentient enough, it should be able to remember, okay, this is how I go out from this particular parkade, because it's going to be hard. There is no GPS down there. So it's going to be hard to actually map out your exit. So anyway, I'm doing a short drive. It depends on what you consider short drive. It's going to be a 38 minutes drive. I'm driving from Queensborough in New West. I'm driving all the way to West Broadway in Vancouver. And something I have also discovered that I've also always wanted to test out is when I map out the car from the parkade where there is no prime GPS, it is always wrong. Now you see the map, it wants me to go right here, whereas I'm just going straight and I'm supposed to turn left. I'm not going to allow it, so I'm going to take over. And then I give back access to it. So now it's going to reroute. Now it has corrected itself. So basically, I think part of this has been my observation when I've been driving and I wasn't recording. When I start the drive from like the mapping or the navigation from, did I pick my phone? Yeah, from right from inside the parkade, which, fortunately or unfortunately happens not to have cell service or internet, then it tends to map me to go wrong. I'm still in the neighborhood, so I don't usually do this, but since I'm still in the neighborhood, I'm quite confident I'm fine here. So it's one of those things that happens that when it happens, you think about it. Like when there is cell service or when there is internet, I get much more accurate data, which makes sense. So maybe that's one problem that exists with the navigation, is that at those times when the car is navigating, the internet or the cell service was not good enough. And so that's why we get bad navigation data. So this is my theory for navigation, because if you guys, those of you who have been on this channel for a while, maybe because of my mapping background, I always complain about Tesla's navigation system, that it is not optimal enough, it's not good enough. But this is something I have discovered, and in the spirit of transparency, and before now I've always blamed and said, why would Tesla make me want to go through that way? So in the spirit of transparency, I should come out and say what I've noticed now is when I started from the parkade where there is no cell service, it tries to prompt me to go through a wrong way. But then when I do it when there is cell service, when there is internet, it works fine. Which begs the question, with Tesla's part of the parent company connected to, or Elon connected to Starlink and whatever, would it be possible? I'm not talking about for parkades. Parkades might be difficult, but when I'm in a place where my phone self-service, in this time around, I'm not even using internet. The car is supposed to navigate me somewhere. So if it's that the network is not good enough, would it be possible to connect this somewhat to Starlink and help us? That way we can get much better mapping data, better navigation, even if people have to pay for it. For instance, if you're paying for premium connectivity, that brings another theory. Maybe if I pay for premium connectivity and I start it from down there, this is something I'm going to do. I've been thinking about it, because with how good Grok is right now, it is almost making sense to pay for premium connectivity. But I don't make use of it that much for me to justify paying for it now. But maybe just for the case of experiment, I probably will pay for premium connectivity. Watch out for that video. I'm going to do it and see if paying for premium and having access to that internet data, regardless of where the car is located, would make it better. Maybe even if it's in the parkade. If it will make it better, why not? So my point is, people will be willing to, at least I will be willing to pay for it. For instance, if Starlink is connected to it, and if I can even use the car's internet on my phone. Let's say I go on a camping trip. I have friends who like to camp on Crown Land. So Crown Land, for those of you who are maybe not Canadians or not in British Columbia, I think it's a Canadian thing. Anyway, Crown lands are like government-owned lands. Land that that's where you find, like, majority of these Crown lands are accessed by Forest Service roads, and so there is usually no cell service, no internet, except you have Starlink. I don't have Starlink at the moment. It's something I'm considering once I fully get into camping. The other thing about Crown lands is it's leave it as you met it kind of setting. You go in there, you set up your own place, in the middle of nowhere. Just being closer to nature, like real nature. When when we camp, most times you're camping in a campground. There are facilities there. These do not have facilities, so they are like in the middle of nowhere. So I have friends who have like this nice spot that they really go to, that even has it has a washroom, not a washroom, washroom with the sort of like the pit latrine system that we used to have. I used to have that growing up as a kid. I don't know what it's called here. Like it's like a potty system basically, but it's really nice. It's in the middle of nowhere. But the problem is there is no self-service. While that is good in the sense that, oh, okay, I'm detached from the world. I can fully enjoy my solitude. Sometimes you want to do a research. Sometimes I want to go away for a number of days and maybe, work on videos, do editing, upload stuff out there. I can't do that if I don't have Starlink. So maybe someday I'm going to get to that point. But if it's possible, whereby you pay a certain subscription in a month, make it $20. I think a bunch of persons will pay for it for that purpose. Or those who really need it will pay for it. Or make the premium connectivity thing, make it a tier-based system, and such that I can even connect it to my phone, whereby like my car can serve as a hotspot for my phone. Anyway, just sort of like random thoughts that I am thinking. Still about random thoughts, another reason why I really like this car. So if you guys noticed, when I started the car, I didn't punch my address or anything. It was because I'm meeting up with some friends, and when they sent the address to me on my phone, I just copied it and pasted it into my Google Maps, and then I shared it with the car. Easy peasy. I don't and then coming into the car is just taking me there. So those are some of like the really nice specs that I really love about this whole setup. So far we've had zero reason to intervene. At this point, it feels so comfortable. Although the car still does some stupid things sometimes. For instance, when I was going home, hey Meta, read message. Okay, so I'm just getting updates from a friend about where I'm going. Oh yeah, for those of you who saw that video about me going to pick up my Meta glasses, this is it. And I've done some recording with it already, tested out the features. And in terms of, honestly, I just bought it because it's free money. If I don't, not technically not free money because I worked for it, right? But it's money that if I don't use it for this purpose, it gets thrown away, like restarts the next year. So why not use it? That's actually why I got, not like I really need the glasses, but now it's serving a purpose. My transition glasses got broken, and so I would have gotten the transition glasses anyway. I don't know if you guys see this. Tesla is hogging the left lane, And there's it now. It's moving over. But this guy was just hot on my tails, man. Relax, buddy, relax. Wow. Okay. Are they racing? Interesting. Anyway, so if you haven't noticed yet, that's what I have on. So just young guys. I don't know, maybe I feel too old now, and I'm still a young guy. I'm just in my 30s. But there are certain things I wouldn't do. I don't know. I don't know if you feel the same. Let me know in the comment section. By the way, I just want to say shout out to like those of you who leave comments on the channel. It's actually thoughtful. I appreciate the feedback. Some criticism as to, maybe certain things I've done with the car. I'll give an instance. There was a day I was rushing to work and I kept taking over from the car, nudging it to go a certain way. And someone left in the comment that it's full self-driving, let it do its thing. You're spot on. If you're watching this video, you were actually correct. That's actually how it's supposed to be. But sometimes there is no mode, and that's about the speed profiles now. Mad Max is still conservative. This is what I've found from driving this. I find that Mad Max is still quite conservative. Mad Max will still, hesitate. Mad Max would not, drive the way I would drive on a day when I am rushing. Yeah, this dude is like, you're moving too close to the car. If this person has to stop suddenly, you're gonna run into an accident. I don't know how people drive like that though. I don't know. Anyway, it's a beautiful winter evening. This January in Metro Vancouver. Oh, I've been recording all along. I didn't know that. That's the thing. Once I start record, I always forget to turn it off. And talking about the glasses, I almost forgot that thought. It's been quite comfortable. I've been wearing this all day today. I haven't had to take it off. So part of the worries I had was maybe it would feel too bulky and I would not be comfortable in it. But honestly, it felt, so far, it feels very, very comfortable. So, can't complain. And if you're driving on this road, this is one of the best days to do this drive. If I'm doing this drive, on a normal day, it's going to take me an hour. 55 minutes is usually the time it takes me. But it's taking me 38 minutes today. So, perks of driving on a Sunday. Why is it going here? You're supposed to merge. Oh, okay. Some people don't know how to drive, man. Wow. The car wanted to merge, and the guy just kept on accelerating. Wow. And the car sped up. It's interesting. I don't know. I keep saying I don't know why people act this way, but humans would be, and look at him now, like he's behind. It's not like he's rushing anywhere. But then he sped up, like he increased the speed just when this car wanted to merge, unnecessarily. Anyway, I don't know why people do that, whereby they are going quite slow, but then when someone tries to make a pass, they speed up. Why? It's beyond me. Like, I don't get it. If you were rushing somewhere anyway, you would have sped up, right? But if you're not rushing, is this and I would say this, many times, 9 point something out of 10 times that I've seen this happen, it's men. So what's happening to us, guys? Is it, what do they call it now? Fragile male ego, or what could it be? Anyway, Hey Grok, what's happening in the world of EV today?
Big news. BYOD overtook Tesla as the world's top EV seller in 2025, with 2.25 million EVs, despite Tesla's 1.64 million deliveries, dropping amid tax credit losses and competition. Also busting are Volkswagen's upcoming affordable ID Polo, Toyota's 2026 CHR EV debut, and 10 new models to watch, like an electric Hilux.
So you see how Grok gave me like a quick summary of what's happening. I like those features, but Grok is also not perfect yet. For instance, they called it BYOD. It's not BYOD. It's not bring your own device. It's BYD. You know, and normally I should correct it, right? And say, but I find that it doesn't keep the memory. Maybe because I'm not signed in. Maybe that's something I should try, and then it keeps the memory. But I've used it to calculate, like, do mortgage calculations. You know, I'm going to ask it a question. Hey, Grok. So, I'm wondering, with Donald Trump's invasion of Venezuela, I don't know what I'm going to call it anyway, with his, going into Venezuela and capturing Nicolas Maduro, what do you think that could mean potentially for Alberta's oil sector? I'm in Canada, obviously, and I'm kind of interested in what happens. Maybe how that would also eventually affect the real estate market in Alberta, given that it's very oil dependent and the oil in Alberta is quite similar to the one that comes from Venezuela.
Yeah, the U.S. raid captured Maduro yesterday, and Trump says they'll run Venezuela temporarily while eyeing its oil. Alberta's heavy oil sands bitumen is basically identical to Venezuela's Orinoco stuff, so if they ramp up cheap exports to U.S. Gulf refineries, which love that heavy crude, it could crush prices for Canadian heavy, hitting Alberta producers hard, jobs, revenues, and eventually, oil-dependent real estate like in Calgary. Short-term chaos might spike prices, but long-term, expect downward pressure and market share loss unless Canada diversifies fast.
So how realistic or how feasible is it that US will be able to pull out crude from Venezuela?
Not very quick or easy. Their industries collapsed to about 1 million barrels a day from mismanagement, sanctions, and crumbling infrastructure, like 50-year-old pipelines, needing tens of billions in fixes. Experts say even with U.S. firms like Chevron jumping in, real ramp-up could take 5 to 10 years or more, assuming stable politics and no sabotage.
How many years do you say it might take?
Experts vary, but most say 5 to 10 years for big gains, like Reuters 5 to 7 years with smooth transition. Rice University's at least a decade for 4 million barrels a day, or Third Bridge 10 plus years. Optimists like Rapidan see maybe 200,000 barrels a day extra in year one, if politics stabilize fast.
Okay, so that's still not numbers that should crazily affect the market up north.
Right, yeah. Venezuela's just 1% of global supply now. So even optimistic bumps like 200,000 barrels a day won't move prices much with the current glut. Up north in Canada, you'd barely notice at the pumps.
So you see, like things like this is what I use, Grok for. I would ask it things about the Premier League, like this, for instance. It's given me a nice synopsis because I read a Reddit post earlier today, where he handled that very nicely. If I was one driving, I probably would have gone, wow, I probably would have gone much earlier, but it's fine, no complaint. Anyway, like these are the things that I like to use Grok for. Those very quick information. I find sometimes it's not completely accurate, but I find that it's getting better. I think with subsequent updates, it keeps improving. So, yeah, if there's one reason why I think I might get premium connectivity, this is another reason. But honestly, if we can get, if I can, or maybe anyone knows, is it possible if I have premium connectivity to use the data from the car to use it on my phone? Say I'm in the middle of nowhere, would it work? Oh, actually, let me ask Grok. What am I thinking? Hey Grok, so if I buy Tesla's premium connectivity subscription, and I'm in the middle of nowhere.
Tesla's premium connectivity
Relax,
is $9.
relax, Grok. Let me finish. I'm not done. So,
So, go ahead. What else about the premium connectivity subscription?
thank you. So let's say I buy a premium connectivity subscription. Would I be able to use my car as a hotspot for my phone?
No. Even with premium connectivity, your Tesla can't act as a Wi-Fi hotspot for your phone or other devices. You can connect the car to your phone's hotspot instead for some features, but not the reverse.
So yeah, there you go. Like it will be nice if it can be reversed as well. But I'm also thinking about how much. But with data, obviously this is not something I'm very knowledgeable in, but I think it already exists, right? So whether it is pooled or not, the only thing that would happen is there will just be more persons using it, which can sort of overload the system. But that's why I think, the right pricing can actually help move things. Wow. Did you see that? It was gonna merge, but because that car was joining, it slowed down for it to go ahead. And that car probably didn't even see us. If I was one driving as well, I might not have seen it because it was technically not in my blind spot. Also, the indicator of the car when the car was signaling was also not something I could see up until it had gotten right ahead of me. So, and that's where like potential for an accident could happen. Another instance, I won't sensationalize it and say FSD saved me or something, but it potentially did actually. Because if I was one driving, there is a high chance if I'm also making that same maneuver. Of course, I might not be making that same maneuver, but if I was making that same maneuver, because as I saw that car going left and the light was red and the light was green, I know you won't be able to go left until the oncoming cars are able to stop. So I want to probably move to the middle lane. So if I also did that at that point, there's a potential for us to bump into each other. So these are like the case uses for FSD. That is beautiful, There was actually one that made the news. I'm going to say if Grok would capture it. So let me first ask Grok. Hey Grok, do you know about the story of the man in the Tesla who the Tesla saved his life because a vehicle who was overtaking a truck who was overtaking another semi was almost going to have head-on collision, but because he had full self-driving on, the car maneuvered its way without having an accident and everything was fine. Do you remember that story, or are you aware of the story?
Yeah, that's the story of Clifford Lee and his Cybertruck on a dark New Mexico highway last November. A truck tried passing a semi, swerved into his lane at 75 miles per hour for a head-on crash, but full self-driving spotted it instantly, swerved to the shoulder, braked, and avoided disaster. Just a busted mirror and window. He posted the dashcam video on X, and even Elon shared it. Wild stuff.
Thank you. I think that one was correct, but I think there was another one that happened much more recently, and I think it even made the news. It made the mainstream news.
Yeah, the Clifford Lee Cybertruck story just hit mainstream news again. CBS Austin covered it on January 2nd, 2026, with slow-mo footage of the swerve. It's getting fresh buzz as proof FSD saves lives, but no brand new incident matching that exact setup pops up recently. There are tons of other recent FSDs though, like highway swerves.
What happened? It says connection error occurred. Anyway, I'm going to check that. Okay, it's back now. I didn't just a blip in the internet. And so, yeah, it's the same story. It was interesting to see that mainstream news carried it, because, this is not something that the mainstream news or mainstream media would normally carry, going by, past experiences. But seeing them carry it now, it's actually nice, So maybe they are, the chicken is finally coming home to roost. They're finally beginning to see the potential and how good Tesla's supervised full self-driving system is. I have a problem though with that terminology. We might as well just remove the full out of it, or say supervised self-driving, because full self-driving connotes that it's not supervised. So it's kind of an anomaly that it says it's supervised. It's full self-driving. Yes, it says. Anyway, I know Tesla did it to kind of be compliant and so that you can be allowed to use it. But I would rather, I would see it change. I would rather have it change until we do actually have fulls. But anyway, FSD has come to stay. That's what everybody knows it as so. It could have been supervised, so SSD, right? Anyway, so these are the things that I use Grok for. Enjoy the car and just catch up on what's happening around, and while you just enjoy a relaxing drive. If I wasn't filming, I could ask Grok to read me a poem, a soothing, relaxing poem, or do anything, and it will do it. I should even actually ask, hey Grok, can you give me a roundup of the English Premier League for today? By the way, I am in British Columbia, so factor that into your timing.
Hey, it's early afternoon here in BC, so most Premier League games from today, UK time, have wrapped up. Yesterday's action had Arsenal beating Bournemouth 3-2, Villa 3-1 over Forest, Wolves 3-0 West Ham, and Brighton 2-0 Burnley. Today, Man City drew Chelsea 1-1 with a late Fernandes equalizer. Fulham leading Liverpool 1-0 at halftime per reports. Brentford beat Everton 4-2, Newcastle 2-0 Crystal Palace, Spurs 1-1 Sunderland, and Leeds vs Man United was ongoing earlier. Check live scores for the latest.
Are you sure Chelsea Man City have played? I thought it was tomorrow, Monday. Today is still Sunday, right? Can you confirm?
Yeah, today's Sunday, January 4th, 2026, here in BC at around 4:19 p.m. Pacific. Chelsea played Man City this afternoon UK time, ended 1-1 with Fernandes' stoppage time goal, and no matches tomorrow. Next round's midweek Wednesday.
Okay, because Grok has been wrong about the EPL in the past. At a point, he was saying Madueke is a player for Chelsea when he has actually moved on to Arsenal. So I was kind of skeptical. I actually thought it was tomorrow. Anyway, so I support Chelsea, but they've been very awful of late, and yeah, let's just say I've been keeping tabs. When your team is not playing as good as you want, you sometimes just look away so you don't get stressed about it over much. So for our destination, I actually do not know what it looks like. So I chose parking lot. I don't know if they do have a lot where I can park, but we would see. We would find out. If it does have a parking lot. If not, if it's on the street, we would see as well. But so far, it's been a smooth drive. I've had zero reasons to complain. The intervention I did at the very beginning of the drive, obviously I pointed that out. What I've come to observe was, I think the data not syncing enough. because it was still in the parkade and there was no self-service. But once it gets up, if you do it again, maybe my next drive, I'm going to start it from the top. That's how I do most times anyway. And then it's fine. That's why I haven't had to make that complaint on here. But overall, smooth self-driving system. I want to ask Grok something. Hey Grok, do you have an idea how many, maybe percentage of cars are on the latest full self-driving software, 14.2.2.2?
No exact fleet-wide percentage for FSD 14.2.2.2 or similar latest versions, but sites like Not a Tesla app show early rollouts at around 1 to 4% of the total Tesla fleet, higher for newer HW4 cars. Older versions, like 12.6.4 for HW3 and 13.2 are on way more, like 30 to 50% in some updates.
I think your data is actually wrong because I still saw on Not a Tesla app that there are about 80 something percent. There's about 80 something percent acceptance or usage of the 14.2.2.2. Can you check that?
Checked. Not a Tesla app and Teslafy data. No. Latest FSD 14.2.2.2 is at about 14% of the fleet right now, not 80. That high number might be for older stable versions, like 12.6.4 on HW3 cars, or overall software branches, like 2025.44 at 70+%.
I'm very sure you are flat out wrong, Grok, because I saw this earlier today. Anyway.
Fresh check on Teslafy and Not a Tesla app right now shows 2025.45.7 with FSD 14.2.2 at 14.1% of their tracked fleet, with about 1,950 cars. The 70+% is for the older 2025.44 branch, not this version. Maybe that's what you saw earlier today.
Okay, it's interesting. Grok double down. I'm driving right now. When the car parks, I'm gonna check it out. I disagree. So I'm gonna check it out. I don't want to use my phone while driving. Although technically I can in terms of how well the car has been doing, but I won't do it. So it will be interesting to see if I'm right and Grok is wrong, When the car parks, I'm gonna check it out. Where's my phone? Yeah, right here. Welcome to Kitsilano, guys. This is where I used to live. And I loved this neighborhood to bits. I loved it. Like, everything is within a walking distance. But then the neighborhood got too expensive and I just couldn't afford it anymore. But if I have my way, I'm gonna come back here in a heartbeat. Like, I won't even think about it twice. Wow, you see? Spotted dog dude. Like, why are you doing this? Like, why are you doing this in the middle of the road? Like, why? Like, why do people do this? Maybe it's probably not, 100% up there. Because that's the only explanation that I can, summon up for that kind of behavior. So you see that move it just did now where it turned left? Seeing that someone was about to cross and was waiting for the lights to go red, what I would do was, I would just have waited. That's my conservative approach to it. But the car's, snout is just ahead and it can see. So I don't think there's a parking lot here. So it's probably on the curb. Found a spot. Here is a spot. Here is a spot. This is good. So even though I chose parking lot, as you can see, because there's also option for street. Even though I chose parking lot, there's no parking lot here, obviously. The car knew and is parking on the street. This is smooth. So smooth driving end to end. I literally could have been sleeping all through that entire drive and would have gotten here safely. Yeah. So Grok is wrong. It says FSD supervised 14.2.2.2 with hardware 2025 45.7. 80% of cars and 28 installs as of today. So maybe Grok was giving me Tesla FI data and still mentioning not a Tesla app. But from not a Tesla app, I was right. Grok was wrong. Ade 1, Grok 0. Thanks for riding with me. Let me know your thoughts on the video. If there's anything you want me to talk about or you want me to research or investigate and, demonstrate with the car, please do let me know. And I see so many persons who watch these videos and not subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe to the channel. If it's something that interests you, because if it doesn't interest you and it's just a one-off, then save yourself the trouble. Not like I'm not like I'm that interested anyway. But if it does interest you and you like to see my face again, and maybe you like my feet, whatever, please subscribe. I will see you guys on the next one. Stay safe. Cheers.